All right. We are back here with Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, Session 20. My name is Thatcher, aka Music Master, and I'm the DM. And we are excited to be back. You'll notice that we have one person missing here. Vati is not with us tonight, but shall be back. Yeah, so, for those of us watching for the first time, or haven't seen this before, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, I'm just going to go ahead and do a brief overview of the campaign so far, high level, as far as the story goes. So, our adventurers started in the Western Heartlands in a city called Elturel, a holy city that had a sun shining above it, an artificial sun called the Companion. The adventurers went on a mission for leaders of the city that took them outside of the city. On their way back to the city, the entire city vanished before their eyes. The Companion, that artificial sun above the city, turned dark. Lightning streaks everywhere, and the city just vanished from sight, vanished from existence. In the aftermath, they found a caravan of refugees, which they helped bring back to Baldur's Gate on a 10-day trek to the nearest city. When they got to Baldur's Gate, they found that the city was under lockdown. Nobody was being allowed in unless you were a resident of the city or had specific paperwork. Luckily for the PCs, our adventurers had some Flaming Fist members among them, and they were able to talk to Flame Zaj of the Basilisk Gate, who gave them a mission to investigate some murders that were happening within the outer city limits. And if they were able to successfully solve those murders or satisfy Captain Zaj's request, he would grant them access to the inner city for them and maybe a couple companions. They were able to satisfy that request for Captain Zaj after investigating those murders, and he asked, quote unquote, the party to investigate a simultaneous set of murders happening in the inner city, to which the party would be handsomely rewarded. So they agreed to investigate this set of murders. These investigations led them to a hidden dungeon beneath a bathhouse. They had a couple different fights. They had to retreat after their first foray into the dungeon, in which one of their party members died. A couple different happenings later, some investigations, some fun in a tavern, fights with some pirates. They found that a high member of the hierarchy of Baldur's Gate was assassinated, and they decided eventually to make their way back into the dungeon, into their second attempt. Some tough fights were had, and we left off last session after a fight with some invisible cultists and Vati stumbling in upon a strange sight. And I will let specifically the events of last session be recapped by one of our party members in a second. But yeah, that's an overview of the campaign so far. So first, let's go ahead, before we get into a recap of last session specifically, introduce our characters. So Igvis, if you want to start, just tell everybody who Igvis is and what he's all about.
Hello, everyone. I'm Manny. I'm playing Igvis. Igvis is a winged monk tiefling who is a gauntlet in the Flaming Fist. Currently, he's just trying to get back the family of a friend who has since departed and came specifically to this dungeon to retrieve the item he believes they're looking for.
Perfect. Kel?
Hello, everyone. I'm Kel. So Kel was in the dungeon. He is a 7-foot dragonborn paladin. He's mostly white and blue. And he's just a very lawful kind of guy. He's just trying to find who killed his mother and who's responsible for the fall of Elturel.
There we go. Honed?
My name's Nate. I'm playing Haunt. Hildorf fighter. I'm here to fuck shit up, and we're on a quest right now to stop the murders that are happening in the inner city.
Awesome. Perfect. Alais?
I play Alais. He is but a humble wanderer who is just breezing through in search of beautiful music.
And Mariana.
I'm Bees, I play Mariana, and she is a pirate currently working for Vati, but we are coming up on the deadline, and she's realizing he does not have money, but is struggling with deciding whether or not she feels obligated towards the group she's been fighting with, or more towards her crew.
Perfect. And for this session, I am going to be playing Vati, who is a bugbear blood hunter. Perfect. Okay, so for those who don't know how we normally do this, at the beginning of every session, I'd like to have the players give a recap of what happened last session, specifically from their character's perspective. So I have everybody roll a single d20, and whoever rolls the lowest on that d20 gets to recap the events of last session. So if everybody here wants to go ahead and roll me that d20, I believe you all were here last session. So Igvis with the nat 20 definitely does not want to recap. Honed with a 19. All right, Mariana with an 11, Alais with a 2, and Kel with the 1 coming in clutch. Kel really wanted to recap last session from Kel's perspective.
I really did not, but I will give it a shot.
All right, so Kel, whenever you are ready, go ahead and recap for us and the stream what happened last session from Kel's perspective.
So last session, Kel kind of stumbled into a room full of some skeletons, and definitely got his butt beat a little bit. He was then thankfully revived by one of my compatriots, and we found a guy named Mortlock, whose brother seems to be a pretty bad guy, and he asked that we take care of him. We found a whole lot of treasure in a room after battling some pretty strong characters. Battling, quote unquote. Yeah, right now, Kel's just carrying a chest full of cabbages, and trying to make his way out of the dungeon. He knows that Mariana and Igvis, I think it was Igvis, correct? Left the dungeon. Vati left the dungeon, and Kel was kind of upset about finding that out. He's a very honorable kind of guy, and they kind of just left the rest of the party. So he went chasing after them. And some people are, I believe, DM, correct me if I'm wrong, at this point I could hear this band of people coming my way.
Yes, I will get into that in just a second, but
Okay.
very good recap, Kel. Awesome. I will add to that as well, which Kel does not know, but our viewers would know from last session, that Vati and Mariana, once they exited the dungeon, came upon a group of cultists, it seems, but they were not dressed like the cultists that they had encountered in the dungeon. The cultists had demanded that they give over their queen's stolen treasure. They demanded that they empty all of their bags, and when they did so, the cultists took their gold. They took Mariana and split their group, and the other half of their group guided Vati down back into the dungeon. And that is where we left off at the end of last session. So let's just get into it. I'm going to activate a scene here. As we go ahead and load it. All right. So, Cal, Igvis, you guys had taken off to leave the dungeon. A little bit of head of Hone and Dolakesh, who were helping Mortlock, who was battered and bruised, out of the dungeon. So they were a bit behind you because they were a little bit slower. But Igvis, you're able to catch up to Kel with your incredible movement speed. And as Kel, you get here to this intersection, you can see around the corner there Vati coming down the hallway in the distance. Moving up as he comes into view, you also see what looked like other figures dressed in large black robes. Their robes almost look like wings, and they're wearing these masks that are pointed in various arrays. There seem to be 3 people up there. 2 of them are holding each side of Vati by chains, the chains that are attached to his arm, clearly restraining him. And when you look on Vati's face, you can see just this look of a slight worry for a second. And his eyes just open wide as he sees you, as he slowly shakes his head at you. And Igvis, as Kel sees this and he stops for a second, you catch up and you see the same thing.
So have the people holding Vati, have they seen me?
Yeah, it's very clear that they see you. So Vati can see you and they can see you at the same time. So, my question would be, Igvis and Kel, would you do anything as soon as you see this? Would you say anything or do anything?
Yeah, Vati, are you? What's going on? Are you okay?
And as you say that, another figure steps forward over here. And his mask looks a little bit more pointed, and it has some higher arches. Igvis, you immediately recognize these figures, their dress, especially given your background, as Dragon Cultists from the Cult of the Dragon. And you specifically recognize the mask that this one down here is wearing that stepped forward as being of a higher rank, based on the look of his mask from the others that are holding on to Vati. And he'll step forward and he'll say, "Yes, your friend isn't in any position at the moment to speak. You can talk to me. Who exactly are you?"
I am Kel Stormborn, and you have one of my compatriots. State your business with him. And as he starts to talk, I'm going to pull out Knight's End.
Okay. And as you pull out Knight's End, the others as well will pull out weapons. The one that is in front of you pulls out a scimitar down here that's actually talking to you, and the others also pull out scimitars. And he looks and he says, "Oh, I don't think you have a death wish, do you? Because trust me, if you do, we'll be happy to oblige. But I think that we could probably get through this without any sort of bloodshed. Your friend here has informed us that he knows where our queen's stolen treasure is and has promised to graciously lead us to it. You are free to go as long as you don't stand in our way, but we will stay with your friend and accompany him, of course." And at this point, Igvis, what I would like to know is the amulet that you have. Where is it?
It's currently in my bag, along with the crown.
Okay. Kel, you had taken also, I believe, a crown from the box, right? Is that the crown that you gave to Igvis?
Oh, he has that mask, that peerless.
That's right.
mask.
You have the mask.
Yeah.
What did you
Yep,
do with
I
your
have
mask?
it's in my bag as well.
Okay. And I know that Alais had cast an illusion on. What were you guys carrying? Remind me.
It was a chest that was filled with like money. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was silver and copper, I believe. And he casted minor illusion on it to disguise it as cabbage.
That's it. Cabbage.
Yes.
Who was carrying the chest?
Kel for sure.
Okay. So, Kel, you're currently carrying a chest blatantly in front of you.
Yeah, it's like on I would say it's on my left shoulder. Being right-handed, I drew knights in with my right hand from the left side of my waist.
Okay. You would need two hands to actually attack with it, because it's a great sword.
Right.
But you could definitely draw it out and have the chest, in your left, given your strength. So, he says what he says. How do you respond?
I'll just whisper to Kel, we don't want to fight right now. We're in no position to do so. And I'll turn to the guy in the mask and say, before anything else happens, I do have one question for you. A house in Brenton was recently ransacked and 2 people were taken. I assume they were by you. Do you still have these people and are they safe?
Ah, so you're the one that I've heard about, the flaming fist member, the fist within the fist. Yes, we do. We do still have your friends, and once, the item we have requested is returned to us, which you may so graciously give me now, we will release them.
How can I take your word for this? I don't even know if they're alive at this point.
Well, you have no other choice, do you?
We have plenty of choices. What
Most
item are you
all of
looking
our
for?
death.
What
I'll
item are you doing?
I'll reach into my bag at this point and pull out probably the crown first and say, I'm not sure exactly what your queen treasure is, but we found this. And I'll hold up the crown first.
Yes, that is part of it, but there is so much more that we desired. I think that you know what we seek.
What do you seek?
An amulet, of course.
I know of no amulet.
Well, maybe you do not, but this one certainly does.
Yeah, I know your stupid amulet. It was taken by the cultists here. We were trying to retrieve it to get back these people. Luckily for you, we were successful, and I'll pull out the amulet.
All right. And you pull out the amulet, and he will reach out his hand towards you and say,
First release our friends. We will give you what you want.
You did say he'd go free once you have this. It's right here.
Oh,
And
I said that your friends, the one from the house in Brampton, would be returned once we retrieve the amulet. We still require this one over here to lead us to the rest of our stolen treasure. But I will take that amulet now.
I'll approach and hand it to him.
Okay. And he will take it, and he will stuff it into a pouch. And the rest of you see Igvis pull out that amulet that I don't think I properly described earlier, but when the amulet is made of silver and it's inlaid with a glass sphere for the sake of the stream, and inside that sphere floats what seems to be a multicolored orb, almost like a marble, and the colors red, green, blue, white, and black swirl within the void between the orb and that glass sphere surrounding it. As Igvis pulls it out and hands it to the man speaking to him. Thank you very much. And you, the one with the particularly large mouth, what is in that chest that you are carrying?
Food.
At what
I'm a
point
very hungry individual.
is Elias arriving?
Yes, I was just going to say, so Alais, at this point you would arrive on the scene where you are.
Hello, good sir. What would be the problem? And Elias, being Elias, is just going to casually put his elbow on the guy's shoulder.
The one I'm next to?
Yes. Whoever appears
So
to be
you walk up to him.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and move your character up on the map.
As he is moving, Kel's gonna respond to the guy in front of me, and he's just gonna say, "It's food. I'm a very hungry dragonborn."
He says, "Open the chest, please, for me."
Very well, and he's going to. I'm going to gently set the chest down, not to give away its weight or items, and he's going to leave it closed.
Okay, so you lay it and you leave it closed, and he says, "Please open it."
Would you like me to do the honors? By the way, my elbow is on his shoulder right now. I don't know if he's
And he
reacting to that.
he casually swipes your hand off of his shoulders and says, "I care not who opens it. Please open the chest."
Very well, good sir. And Elias is going to walk up and open the chest.
Okay. What is the save on your illusion?
He has to spend a full round investigating.
Which he will do. So what would the save be? Because there is a save associated.
Save's not very high. It's about a 14.
And it's, what is it, a wisdom?
This one I think would be int because it's a spell against my int. But yes.
It's minor illusion that you used?
I believe it's an investigation check. But yes, minor illusion.
Yeah, it's an investigation check against your spell save DC. So you said 14 is what we're looking at. So
Probably lower because it would be an int-based check. So I think it would be like an 11 or a 12.
Well, it's still based on your spellcasting.
Yeah, it's your
modifier.
spell save DC. So whatever.
Yes, but this is a wizard spell, not a cleric spell, so it's slightly lower.
I don't believe so. Yeah, no, I think it's just whatever your spell save DC, which in this case is 14, right? Your spell save DC?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So he has a flat roll against this. So we're going to go ahead and roll publicly here. He says, curious. All right, you may close it up.
I know, he has a
You
really
know how it
strange
is.
diet.
Times are quite hard, and you can never pass up food when you find it underground.
And you close the chest?
Yes.
Okay. He says, well, I've taken the amulet. I will also take that crown that you have.
Hand him the crown.
Okay. And so he'll take the crown, and he'll say, at this point, you are more than welcome to be off. And at this point, Honed, you would have arrived as well. So you can go ahead and move your character up to be with everybody else.
I'm gonna pick the chest back up with my left arm, and I'm gonna kind of. Can I kind of tell which direction he's gonna be heading, like the way we came, or does he seem like he's gonna go a different way?
It seems like he's planning to go the way you came, from what you can tell.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of shuffle along this wall in this
Wait, is
room.
the cultist planning to go the way we came?
The way that you guys came from.
Can I talk to him real quick, actually?
I mean, yeah,
So,
right now we're out of combat. You can say whatever you like.
so what is it you're seeking, perchance, good sir?
We are,
Elias is good.
we are seeking our queen's stolen treasure, which I have already informed your companions.
Ah. Would
Do
you like
you
me to just
do
see where
you
it is?
happen? Oh, you happen to know, do you?
Well, I mean, I figure the sooner I show you, the sooner you can release our dear comrade. And from there, we can just be on our merry way.
I see. Well, your comrade has already offered to show us, and I only need one person. So
But
the
you
rest
see,
of
the
you,
difference is, good sir, unlike him, I saw where it is exact with my own eyes, whereas he can only speculate. Perhaps
roll
you should.
me a persuasion.
All right. Would I? It's a 12, but would I have advantage if I'm not lying here?
Nope, no advantage. That's what allows you to use persuasion instead of deception. The fact that you're not lying.
Okay.
So a 12, and we'll roll his roll publicly too. So he also has a flat roll on this.
So Elias is going to be handing him, like, he's going to be holding the head of his mace and pointing the shaft towards that guy as he says this.
So go ahead and roll me another persuasion. Because we are tied.
$23.
All right. Well, he can't possibly beat that. So he will say, you make much sense. I appreciate your candor in this situation and your help in this regard.
Indeed.
And he will motion as he takes a step back for the other two, and he'll kind of nod over to you, and he says, "My associates here will guide you as well."
Indeed. I'm quite poor at sight down here.
And they release Vati, the chains, and they come down towards you, Elias.
Elias is going to just cooperate.
Okay.
As they do this, I'm
He's
gonna.
actually going to hand them the mace. Important note, he's going to hand them the mace.
Okay.
As he does this, Kel's gonna look at Vati and kind of motion for him to come to me.
And you see Vati kind of look at both of you. He puts his head down and he backs up.
I'm also going to address the leader real quick and just say, I imagine there were two of our compatriots that were together. Where is the other one?
Oh yes, your other one is being held for safekeeping, and at this point, you see two other cultists come around the corner. And as they come around the corner, Vati, you notice Vati, moves back behind them, and he moves around the corner out of your sight. And the leader over here looks back, and he says, you almost, he seems shocked. And he looks back and he says, "What are you doing here? You were given very clear instructions." And this one here says, "Well, you know how you can be. We had to make sure that everything is okay. It's our heads, that would also be on pikes. Yeah. Is everything okay? And then he looks towards the rest of you as he goes, and he goes, so, is everything okay? And he directs that specifically at you, Igvis.
Everything appears fine. Alais, you're going to guide them, yeah?
Yes, indeed.
You know where to meet up when we finish, I suppose.
Vachi's office. Let's drink his fine liquor.
Are we free to go now?
Yes, you are free to go, except this one, of course.
Indeed.
When can I expect the two from Brampton to be released?
Tomorrow. You may visit them tomorrow, and you will see that all is in order.
He'll just begin walking then.
And Alais is just going to lead them to where the treasure was.
Okay, sounds good. So, Igvis,
Wait.
you
He's actually going to ask for one favor, if that makes sense.
say again?
He is going to ask for a bit of a favor.
All right.
A very small one. So, as we are passing through, are you familiar with the teachings of the Dead Three at all?
Says, I care not about their teachings.
I just saw some things that piqued my curiosity is all. My apologies.
And, Kel, do you also follow Igvis out of the dungeon, or do you do anything else? It looks like you're also following Igvis. Honed, what about you? What do you do?
Sorry, I was trying to get it to come back up.
We're with the big guys, so I guess we'll see if the cultists come down our way or just go through one of the other doors. For right now, we're sort of out of sight, out of mind, sort of deal.
Okay. So you guys stay where you are then. You don't actually leave with... You see Igvis and Kel leave.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see them leave, and then we'll just wait with see what Alais does with the cultists and
Okay, so
go from there.
Alais, the leader over here, is going to look towards you and say, please, lead on.
Indeed. So do I just go follow the map?
Yeah, go ahead and, go with your character wherever that you would lead them. Would you lead them actually back the same direction that you came?
Just going where they came from. He wants to investigate the shrine, and he's going to say, like, I'm actually kind of glad you came. They have a chapel back here I was meaning to look at.
Yes. Okay, so go ahead and move yourself on the map for me. Honed, so they're going to come in your direction.
Now,
Okay.
what you note is Elias would know the direction he came from. Sean, the player, does not.
Okay. So, yes, you are going to come back down in this corridor. You would get to this room where you have the altar that was up there, and then this secret door is where you came from. So, you would continue on past that secret door all the way down that hallway. You'd come to another room with some gas, and you'd make a right there down a long hallway.
I'm actually going to warn them about the gas.
Okay.
Just, like, let them know, you'd be careful around here. It's horribly flammable, good sir.
So, real quick,
Yes.
when we were in the room with the altar, we heard noises from a direction we did not go. Would them going through there alert whatever that was?
You heard noises. In the original altar room, you're saying?
The altar room with
With the
ball.
entrails that were on and everything? Yeah. So nothing happens as you go through there. No.
All right.
as
Wait,
Alais goes through there.
Well, when the cultists go past us, do they talk to us or just continue past?
They'll just continue past them unless you try to
Alais
stop
is
them.
going to give a bow.
Okay, no, I'm not going to stop them. Well, I've heard everything that's been going on, so we'll just let them carry on their way.
Okay. So what would you guys be doing, Honed, as you... I mean, Dolakesh would say that we should lead Mortlock out of the dungeon.
Yeah, no, I'm with that. Yeah, head out of the dungeon and meet up with everybody else.
Okay. So
Can you just put my character token where I lead them?
Yeah. Give me a second here, Elias.
Is that possible?
Yep. So, Honed, you can go ahead and move yourself out of the dungeon. I'm just going to move Dolakesh as well out of the dungeon.
I found Mariana.
Yes, and when you get there,
I
Igvis,
can't
you
see
notice...
any map real quick. Like, I don't have the bathhouse as an option.
Yes, give me a second. Let me do this. You should see
Right, thanks.
there, and then just go back up to the bathhouse. And now you should be able to see the bathhouse.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Okay, I'm just going to put you where I had you real quick. Yeah, right there. So when you guys get up there, you see Mariana, who seems to be manacled. She is manacled. Her arms are manacled behind her back, and there's another set of manacles that attach from those manacles to what seems to be a metal pipe.
And when you get up to her, she's kind of like trying to get her feet on the walls so she can kind of just pull at them. So you come up and she's just like really awkwardly like got a leg up over the pipe trying, but she's like crazy weak. So she's kind of just fruitlessly pulling at this pipe because she can't actually cast any spells.
Oh, Mariana, need a little help there?
That would be appreciated. Glad you're alive. Our rescue mission didn't exactly go well.
The rescue was more cultists? And at this point, I guess everybody here would probably try and free Mariana. Would you help, Honed?
So go ahead and give me a strength athletics check. How are you trying to free her? You could either try to bust the pipe that she's attached to, or you could try, if you have thieves' tools, to pick the locks on the manacles.
Probably try and pull the pipe off the wall.
All right, so
Still with a
give me a strength athletics check.
16.
16. 16 does not do it. As you pull at the pipe and try to...
Can I
pull
give
the
him
pipe.
advantage? Like by helping?
Sure, I can either... yeah, Igvis, I'll give you advantage. Go ahead.
Still 16.
All right, yeah, you're not able to do it. You're not able to break the pipe. It's pretty solid.
I hate these things. Hey, Mortlock, do you think you can help?
Right, well, I'm a little, beat up and hurt, as he spits out some blood, but, I can give it a shot here.
And he will go and attempt to do this.
And I'll help him too.
I'm assuming him and Honed are stronger than I am, that's all. Oh.
And he is not able to do it as he yanks and pulls. And then he like grabs his side as he's clearly still injured. And Honed, Cal, if you guys are helping, you can go ahead and give me athletics checks as well.
Okay. $16.
Yeah, and you can do it at advantage as well, since Mariana is also struggling against the plight, assisting you. So you can both roll again.
Would any of this theoretically weaken the links of the chains between the manacles?
Yeah, the manacles seem pretty sturdy. So neither the pipe nor the manacle seem to bust. And none of you are able to release her that way as you are yanking on those manacles.
I just remembered something. I have some keys.
These are from different guys, though.
I have some keys.
DM, it's saying I don't have a token on the map.
Same.
Click on the frolicking nymph.
At the top, do you see a little tab that says Frolicking Nymph? Top of your screen.
Because I see your token.
If you click on that, you should be able to see yourself on the map.
Restart.
Okay. While that is going on and you guys contemplate that, let's just jump back to Alais. So Alais, you managed to lead the rest of these cultists back to the main area where you had a fight and where the chests were. Do you say anything specifically to them?
He points them to where the chests are.
All right.
Now, do you need anything else from me, good sir?
He says, we'll just check it for a second if you don't mind holding on tight.
Indeed, no reason to mind.
And 3 members will, or 2 members will hold either side of your shoulders as the others come down here and start digging through the remaining chests that are down there.
So Elias is going to kind of do that thing where, like, he's going to put his, as they grab his shoulders, he's just going to, like, put his arms around their shoulders.
Okay. And they kind of give confused looks as their grip tightens. The others look through the chests for a little while, and then the one that seems to be the leader gives kind of a nod to the others and says, you two grab this one. The others come and grab the one over here. And then he comes up and says, I appreciate your cooperation in this matter, good sir. You are free to go.
Indeed. And he's just going to reach out his hand, offering a handshake.
And he'll shake your hand with an albeit slightly confused look on his face.
Hey, we just completed our business dealings. And with that, Elias is going to go and look at the chapel that we did not look at before.
Okay. So you go ahead and do that. The others grab chests, and you see them starting to lug some of them back the way you guys came. As for you, I mean, you can go ahead and move yourself on the map wherever you'd like to be.
DM, it says I don't have any tokens on or in the scene with vision, is what it's saying. It's saying I'm under the bathhouse.
Well, okay, so up on the top where it says under the bathhouse, next to that there should be an option that says Frolicking Nymph. Do you see that?
I do not.
Okay, give me a second here. We will do this. Now do you see it?
Yeah, now I do.
Okay, click on that. And you should be able to see your token in the scene.
Yep. Yep.
So, Elias, as you go over to that area, the northern end of that hall is occupied by 3 6-foot-tall painted wooden statues. Each statue stands atop a 2-foot-high block of red stone, making it look taller and foreboding. The center statue, this one over here, represents a heavily armored man whose face is hidden behind the fearsome visor of his helmet. He's painted red except for his right gauntlet, which is black. Clutched in this gauntlet is a blood-red spear, pointed upward. The statue to the west depicts...
Sorry, I was away from keyboard.
Oh, okay. Can you, how much of that did you gather? Any of it?
Something about a red gauntlet.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it. So at the northern end of this hall, there are 3 6-foot-tall painted wooden statues. Each statue stands atop a 2-foot-high block of red stone, making it look taller and foreboding. The center statue right here that I'm pinging resembles a heavily armored man whose face is hidden behind the fearsome visor of his helmet. He's painted red except for his right gauntlet, which is black. Clutched in this gauntlet is a blood-red spear pointed upward. The statue to the west depicts a purple-garbed male noble wearing a harlequin mask and holding a dagger behind his back. The statue to the east portrays a black-robed skeleton with its jaw opened wide and its bony hands outstretched.
So the dead 3.
You would recognize it based on your dealings and what you've seen so far as the dead 3. You would recognize the statue in the center to the north as Bane, the one to the west here as Baal, and the one to the east as Merkel.
So, is there anything else to see around here? Any writings or inscriptions?
Yeah, so I mean, you do see a couple symbols on the ground, big, large magical circles. They seem to have some inscriptions on them. The statues themselves don't seem to have any writing on them from where you are and what you can tell.
I'm going to make an investigation check, see what I can find around the room. It probably won't be much.
Yeah, go ahead and make me an investigation check. Where exactly? Are you just going to walk around to each statue and investigate them and then walk...
For now...
What are you...
I'm going to make careful note to not try and trigger any... I'm going to keep my distance a little bit on the runes because I don't want to trigger anything magical.
Okay, so move yourself on the map what you want to investigate for me, so I know exactly what you're investigating. Then make me an investigation check. So there are 3 circles and 3 statues.
I got 10, so I'd find perfectly average things most likely.
Yeah. So what are you looking at first?
Let's just look at the statues. I'm looking for prophecies, writings, and worshiping materials in particular.
So which statue specifically?
Let's start with Bane.
Okay, so the one in the center. So, I mean, from that distance, with your investigation check, you don't... it doesn't seem like, anything of note about the statue specifically, but you do think that spear could probably be removed that Bane is holding. You think it's a real spear.
I'm going to try to pick it up.
Okay. So you go up to the statue and you try to pick up the spear. Give me a charisma save.
Okay. There's a 23 save.
Yeah, so you, for a second, as you go to grab the spear, your head starts to spin, and the entire room starts to spin around you as the face of the statue kind of zooms in closer to your vision, and you quickly close your eyes, and as your hand touches the spear, the vision kind of fades from view, and you shake off this nausea that you were having.
So do I manage to get the spear then?
You do. So you grab the spear, and you are able to release it from the grip, and you now have a spear, a blood-red spear.
Alais is going to wrap it in just like scraps. Like, scrap cloth so it doesn't look particularly interesting. And then he's going to look at the weapons on the other statues.
Okay.
See if anything else looks removable.
Yeah, so the one, there's one to the west, which is Ball, and that one was holding a dagger. And the one to the east, which was Merkel, doesn't seem to have any weapons in its hand. Just its hands are kind of just outstretched.
So Elias is going to try to grab his mace, which I presume he's gotten back from the cultists by now.
Yep.
And he's just going to kind of try to push the dagger out of Ball's hands without touching it first.
Okay. And so as you go to try and push the dagger out of his hand, you realize that that dagger isn't coming loose, that it seems to be melded into the statue and part of the statue by now. But it does look like the mask, that Harlequin mask that he's wearing, could be removed.
I'm going to try to, pry that off with my mace.
Okay. So you bring up your mace and you try to pry it off, and you manage to pry it off.
So Elias is going to wrap it in like a blanket and put it in his bag.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then he's going to check out the last statue for anything removable.
Okay. So you go over to the last statue here to the east, and you don't see anything that looks like it could be removed.
All right. So with that, he's going to look for any prophecies, just written writing or worship materials, which I presume he would not find.
Right. You do not find anything related to that.
And I guess he leaves.
Okay. You leave. Go ahead and move yourself on the map.
Just a sec. Check something first. Yeah, and with that, I'm going to leave.
All right.
Note that Elias is going to go to a church immediately after this.
Okay. So you leave. Let's go back to the frolicking nymph for a second. I'm going to actually go ahead and activate that. And Elias, if you give me a second, I will get you there. Well, actually, before I put you on there, Elias, let's just go ahead and talk through everybody else up here. So you guys try to release Mariana, and you are unable to do so. What do you do?
I think we just have to wait for the cultists to give us the stupid key for these things.
Blood in the bathhouse,
But I'll stick to the.
but I'll be free and I don't mind water, so that's fine by me.
I'm gonna walk up to Igvis and set down my backpack and tell him, Igvis, I got something for you. And then I'm gonna pull out one of those red crystal vials with the gold steppers and give it to him.
Okay.
Sorry, is that a healing potion?
I have no idea what it is. I got it from one of those chests. I got 2 of them. So I figured,
You took from the horde?
don't worry about what I
shit
got.
that those guys were looking for?
Yeah. They didn't
You
stop me
should
and ask
get
me,
that
so I just
out
kept
of
going.
here.
That's why I gave it to Igvis. They already searched him, and they haven't searched me, so.
Okay. I'll take it and put it in my bag.
Okay.
All right. So you do that. All right. So is your plan just to wait then till the cultists appear again?
As much as I hate it, because we can't get her out otherwise.
Okay. So
Unless you find a wrench and we flood.
We'll look for tools to help us free her if we can.
so you start looking after you guys have tried to release her. I mean, looking through the rest of these rooms, you don't find any sort of tools or crowbars or anything that you think would necessarily help you.
I mean, really, who does the maintenance here? Come on.
After a little while, though, the cultists do return. And
Kel's just in that room. He's sitting on the chest, just kind of waiting.
so they do return, and they will say, "Oh, you're still here," and he'll kind of give a glaring look at the other two of the cultists, who kind of like shy away, and he will pull out a set of keys and he'll throw them on the ground by Mariana, and he says, "It was good doing business with you," and the cultists with their chests will move out of the bathhouse unless you do anything to stop them from doing so.
As he's as the big dude's walking out, Kel's just gonna say with a pretty stern voice, he's just gonna tell him, "I'll see you soon. I'll see you real soon."
And Mariana's going to resist the urge to bite his ankles as he walks past.
And he will say to you, "Kel, I hope so." And they will walk out of the bathhouse.
I'm sorry, you said bite his ankles?
Yeah,
Okay, just making sure I was clear.
I have no hands at the moment.
And when you do, whoever grabs those keys, try them on the manacles. They do unlock the manacles, and you are able to free Mariana. And you also have 2 pairs of manacles with keys that somebody can put in on their character sheet.
Oh, I'm keeping that.
They're all yours. Mariana, you still have that flail, right? The skull-headed one?
Yeah?
Do you mind if I take that just for a minute? I'm gonna go report back to Flame Zodge, and I would like to have some evidence.
Alright, but my employer just walked out, and I just got robbed for 60 gold pieces, and I'm gonna need compensation at some point.
I'll just hand you 100 gold on me.
It'll do for now. And I'll give him the flail.
I don't know what he owes you, but this should at least tide you over for in the meantime.
200 to my crew. This'll deal with my compensation.
And at this point, Alais, you come through the door. And Alais, you all notice, is holding a blood-red spear.
Yes. So, I'm probably cursed now, good comrades, but that is all right.
I'm immediately going to detect magic on that thing.
He's going to show her the mask, too. Because he grabbed both of them.
Yeah, so you do detect magic on the spear. And you also detect magic on Alais as well. You do not detect magic on the mask.
Like magic that hasn't been there before?
Yes, you're not familiar with the magic that's on Alais. So you have enchantment magic that seems to be on the spear, and on Alais, you detect necromancy.
Cool. You should get help.
Is necromancy, DN, just real quick, I can't think of it. Is necromancy considered a type of disease? Does it cause a disease?
No, it's just a type of magic.
It's a school of magic that just deals with the dead, primarily.
What did you touch?
I took a spear from a mask of Baal, from the altar of Baal, and I took a mask from the altar of Baal. So I stole some holy artifacts of the Dead Three.
They noticed, I think.
Quite so, quite so.
I'll just continue to walk out at this point.
Do you perchance? Well, I have to go find a church. You are
That's a great idea.
you are welcome to accompany me if you'd like. Tell me, which is the biggest cathedral in Baldur's Gate?
I don't spend much of my time in towns like this.
Wouldn't you just search for a cathedral that worships your particular god? More than a big one?
I have stolen from the dead 3 and will probably need the most powerful cleric I can find.
Who do you worship again, Elias?
Timora.
Yeah, so you know that there is. Would you tell the party that you worship tomorrow?
Elias does acknowledge that fact.
Okay.
Quite proudly, actually. That's actually where Fortune Favors the Bold comes from. It's a slogan of Timora's followers.
Yeah. So you would know that the Hall of Wonders in Baldur's Gate is mainly a church of Gond, but they do have a small temple to Timora.
So, would you guys perchance be willing to accompany me? I am unsure what this curse will do.
I have to go report back to Flame Zodge, supposing he's still alive. Everybody else, you can do what you will. We'll meet back up at Vati's office. Hopefully he'll be there and we can get a few answers.
Indeed.
But yeah, I'll accompany Alais.
Very well. And with that, Elias is going to go to the Church of Wonders.
All right. The High House of Wonders. So you are going to the High House of Wonders with Honed. Say again, Igvis, what you were planning to do.
The Basilisk Gate to go report to Flame Zodge.
Okay. And Mariana, what was your plan?
I'll head back to Vati's, I guess.
Okay. Kel?
Remind me again where Kel is residing right now.
Where
I don't think you have a home in
you
Baldur's
don't.
Gate.
I mean, yeah, you don't have a home in Baldur's Gate. So you came from Elturel was your home, and so you're homeless at the moment. So you came, and you have some notes if you go into your journal for you what happened between sessions and stuff. But basically, you know, you came from Elturel to Baldur's Gate, and some stuff went down. You ended up in the dungeon, and you haven't been residing anywhere necessarily.
All right, I'm going to try and excuse me. I'm going to try and find a room close to Vati's office.
I'll recommend the Majestic.
So that's where I'll go with my chest.
And we'll put it on Vati's tab.
Yeah, because Vati has the back room there. So I imagine that Kel can just sleep there. Because the bartender probably still thinks that we're with him. Whatever Vati's doing, I don't know.
What say you, DM, about that?
Yeah. So you said the Majestic. It was a little hard to hear you on my end, but
Yeah. I'm going to go to the Majestic.
yeah. So you can absolutely go to the Majestic. So why don't I... And Dolakesh kind of like looks at you as you're all discussing your plans and says, what about this one? As he points to Mortlock.
He says, yeah, what about me? Am I free to go?
We still have questions for you. I would prefer if he were to... Mariana, you and Delakesh take him to Vati's for the time being. We'll all meet there.
Sure.
So, DM, as I get to the Majestic, I'm going to buy a room for a single night or day.
probably won't have to because Vati did offer us that back room that he has reserved there. That he
Okay.
offered to us. I know you weren't there for that, but we do have a room there that's kind of just on hold, basically.
Yeah, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to ask the innkeeper for a room. I'm guessing he's going to tell me that Vati already has one.
Yeah, I'll get to you in a second here, Cal.
Okay.
So we're gonna go person by person here. So let's start with Mariana, Dolakesh, and Mortlock. So as you guys make your way back to Vati's location, his house, you notice that the door is locked when you get there.
And there aren't any windows. I'll knock. In
Okay.
hopes that Carmilla is there.
Yeah, you knock and there is no answer.
Really debating if the pirate ship and just have them break in now. But that kind of ended up in a lot of them dead last time. I guess I would ask Dolakesh what he thinks.
Dolakesh will look and say, "You're a pirate. Can you finagle your way in? I'm tired and exhausted."
I'm not exactly the finesse kind of pirate.
And Mortlock says,
Oh, hold on.
and he'll kind of straighten up a little bit and he'll kind of bash himself against the door. And the door will break open. When
That's a way.
when it does break open, you notice that the entire place seems to be in a state of disarray immediately. The desk has been turned over. The chair has been turned over. The fireplace has gone out. You see paper strewn all about the floor. The back room door is open, and Quirmilla is nowhere to be found.
I'm going to carefully walk inside, making sure that I have, well, I guess there's no behind the door in the first room anymore. But I'll check the back room first.
I guess I'm just
his office room.
Okay. So you check that back room, and let me get Vati's map up. But there we go. And we'll put you. So the rest of you are not actually there. You're not there. You're not there. You're not there. Okay. Yeah. So you are in. You should be able to see the map, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you go in and you go to check out that back office in the back here. You go in and you see that this large desk and table that's in the back office is flipped over. All of the shelves, multiple books have been toppled and are splattered on the floor. And there's a globe that was in the center that has been shattered. These lights that were in the house are are out.
I don't think I've got my dark vision. Because the house is slowly just going black.
All right. It is possible that you don't. There we go.
There we go. Thank you. Okay. And the door before we bashed it didn't seem like it had been messed with at all.
No, it did not.
Okay, I'm gonna head upstairs then.
Oh. And as you start to head upstairs, Mortluck says,
Right, so I think I should lie down for a little bit. Where can I do that?
I'm gonna make sure it's safe here first, and then I don't really care where you do it.
and
All right.
he'll close the door. And you go upstairs, and you see the two rooms that seem to be in there. That room that you just walked into seems to be a bathroom. These rooms upstairs don't look like they're any in particular sort of disarray, but you do notice that the chest by the bed in both rooms is open and empty.
Okay. I mean, it could be a robbery, but the door was locked, so... And Vati was weird.
Right, I mean, I don't know your friend, but... You know, he was kind of acting a little strange, I'd say.
Yeah, you can go lay upstairs if you want.
Alright, that sounds like a good idea to me.
And then I will probably also head to the Majestic after that.
Okay.
To check in with the barkeep there.
So you do that. Dolakesh says that he's gonna hang out here and also take a nap. And you head off towards the Majestic.
I was gonna close the door behind me, but no I'm not, I guess.
It's not completely busted off its hinges. It can be closed.
Okay.
Yeah. It does seem like it can't be locked, though. You don't have the key, but it does look like the lock itself has been busted.
Okay, then I'll shut it, but and just tell them to be a little vigilant or something as I leave.
All right. You do that. Moving on to Kel. You arrive at the Majestic, which is in the Steeps, which is here on the pinged map. Here. And you'll get there. And I'm going to hop around some maps here. Let's get your character. There you go, Kel. You should be able to see the map.
Yep.
All right, so you arrive there at the Majestic. This is your first time visiting the Majestic specifically. So what do you do?
I'm gonna walk in. I guess I noticed this guy to my right, right at the bar. And I'm gonna kind of, I'm gonna sit my chest on the bar and take a seat at the bar. And
Okay.
I'm gonna order a stiff drink.
All right. And he says, and mind you, this chest that you're carrying is a large chest, so you're going to sit the whole chest on the bar?
Well, in the room, do I notice anybody that could?
It's like a couple feet wide, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna set it right at my feet, and I'm gonna put a foot on it.
Okay. So you sit at one of the raised chairs at the bar and put your foot on the chest, and you order a drink. And the man at the bar says, "Why, hello there. I've never seen you before. My name is Wilkes, and I am the owner of this establishment. What would you like to drink today? We have our Dragon Crush, which is in today, or we have the Baldur's Mouth, a favorite of everybody here."
Whatever you recommend.
Oh,
Make it a double.
all right, I would definitely recommend the Dragon Crush, which would only cost about 5 silver pieces.
I'm gonna swing my bag out and reach in and pull 5 silver pieces out. And I'm gonna throw him an extra one and just be like, that's for you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. And he'll go back and he'll, whip you up some ale and he'll throw it in front of you. And it has this reddish tone to it, with little wisps of yellow that flicker within the ale itself.
I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna down it. And I'm gonna set the cup back on the bar, and I'm going to ask him about. I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna say, so I've been traveling with this group. It's been a really hectic past few weeks. And my buddy Vati is doing some stuff at his office. I need a room for the night.
Ah, you're friends with Vati, you say? Well,
I am.
roll me a persuasion check at advantage. So he says,
I'm gonna use lucky to re-roll that. Can I do that?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a lot better.
So he says, well, a friend of Vati's is, of course, a friend of mine. Yes, I'd be happy to give you a room. And he will, look beneath the bar and he'll pull out a set of keys, which he will give you, and he'll say, if you head on backstage, and there is a door over here backstage. He says, through the curtain, you'll come to another room, and there is a small set of stairs. You take those stairs up, and your room will be the second on the right, room number 5.
I'm gonna go to pick up the chest, and I'm gonna turn around and say, a silver piece for any information about the cultists that have been lurking around.
Oh, cultists, I'm sorry I don't have any information on that, or else I would be happy to help you out.
What information do you have of use?
What information specifically are you looking for? I mean, like I said, I don't have any information on cultists specifically, but...
So
Did you
he's-
hear that the, one of the dukes was assassinated?
No, I did not. Kel's gonna look real somber for a second. He's gonna say, approximately 3 years ago, do you remember a slender, elven woman, carrying two short swords? You definitely wouldn't have been able to miss them or her. She may have came through here. Do you remember her by any chance?
I'm sorry, I can't say that description rings a bell specifically.
Silver hair, bright blue eyes.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about this woman specifically.
Very well. He's going to throw the silver piece to the barkeep, and then he's going to go up to his room.
All right. So you do that, and about this time, as Kel is walking away, Marza is when you would not Marza, Mariana is when you would arrive inside the Majestic, which you should now see the map. And you see Kel, who seems to be walking away.
Wilkes, how are you?
Hello, Mariana. It is good to see you.
Unfortunately, I'm not here for another day of drinking in shanties. Have you seen Vati today?
Have I seen Vati? Well, no, I can't say that I have.
Right. Well, it's very important that you let me know if you see him at all, or hear about him.
Well, how would I get in contact with you?
It looks like one of my comrades might be staying here at the moment. I might stick around with him. Vati's place was turned over. It looked pretty bad, but it doesn't look like anyone broke in, so I'm a bit worried about Vati.
And you'll see his eyebrows kind of perk up. Oh, I hope that he's okay. I hope that you're able to find him. Yes, of course, if I...
Just to assure you that it's a matter of his safety and not,
Yes, of course,
something
if I hear anything about him, I'll be sure to let you know.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, how about I get a drink to go? Just in the back. Not taking your cups.
Absolutely. Would you like some Dragon Crush? Or some
Just a
Mouth?
Baldur's Mouth.
A Baldur's Mouth, absolutely. And he'll hand you a Baldur's Mouth, and he will say, I'll put it on Vati's tab.
Right. Thanks.
All right. And you will head up to the same room. All right. Gonna switch gears here back to the main map again. All right. Igvis, you were heading over to Flamesage.
Correct.
Okay. So you head over to the Basilisk Gate, and when you get over there, you are able to find Manup Salal at the gate. You don't specifically see Flame Zodge, but when you talk to Manip Salal, he's able to tell you that Flame Zodge is currently in the back office, and he's able to lead you inside to where you can meet with Flame Zodge specifically.
I am going to do a little small talk with Men of Salal just to say I'm glad you're okay. I heard that there was an attack while the Duke was giving his speech. Because I know Men of Salal was there. So.
Yep. He says, right, it was quite disturbing, the assassination on Duke Border. Luckily, we were able to quell the threat.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I have something I'll show you after I talk to Zodge.
Oh, right then. Very well.
So at that point, I'll go to Zodge's office.
Okay. So you go to Zodge's office, and you see Flame Zodge there in his office.
Right. Gauntlet. Igvis, what can I do for you? Have you any news on the murders that have been plaguing the inner city?
Yes, sir. The murders were being done again by the Cult of the Dead 3. Same people inside as they were outside.
Right, that doesn't seem any surprise here. Were you able to deal with the cultists?
Yes, sir. And I'll present 2 of the weapons, the flame-headed skull as well as the black steel dagger from the cultists that we took out.
He says, right then, so they won't be giving us any more problems.
I do have one other location I'd like to check, but I do believe the immediate threat has been dealt with. I also found one other thing that I think you'd find interesting. And the letter that we found in the dungeon, the one specifically Vaz's correspondence, I'll present to him.
Says, this is disturbing. So they seem to be behind the assassination on the Duke as well.
My only regret is that we didn't get there and back soon enough to at least get a heads up on it.
And this was found where exactly?
In the cult's den underneath the Frolicking Nymph.
The Frolicking Nymph. You say you're going to have to remind me, Gauntlet, where exactly is the Frolicking Nymph? I'm not necessarily familiar with that particular establishment.
Is it on the map here? I think it's on the map here.
It is.
It's relatively close to the Basilisk Gate, sir. It's a small bathhouse in Upper Brampton.
Right then, I'll have to post some of the Flaming Fist guards over there at the bathhouse, and I'm sure that the Watch will be particularly interested in this letter that you found. Good work, Gauntlet.
Appreciate it, sir. And I will say this was far more taxing than the cultists we dealt with outside of the gate. We actually did end up losing a companion dealing with this one.
Right, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Gauntlet, of course, and you have my condolences on that.
If it's fine with you, I'd like to keep the items that we recovered. You're welcome to keep the letter, of course, and the payment that is due, sir.
Right, anything you find is yours. That is fair, and of course I will pay you. And he'll reach down below his desk and pull out his big gold pouch, and we'll start counting out gold pieces in the pouches. And he said, how many of you were there again? I believe we agreed on 6.
Myself, Honed, and Vati each getting 200 gold.
That's right. 3 of you each 200 gold pieces each, and he'll count out 200 gold pieces into 3 different pouches, and he'll hand you all 3 pouches.
Thank you, sir. And if you wouldn't mind, and I'll give him the receipt for the boat that I ended up buying for Marza, and just see if he's willing to compensate for the funeral.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion sucks.
And give me advantage on it.
18.
Yeah. So he says,
Right, the fist will does take care of their own. Of course, I'll take care of this gauntlet.
Appreciate it, sir. And I think it was like another 50 gold or something for the boat.
yeah, so he'll take the note, which you had gotten basically a signed letter with how much it was from the harbor master, and we'll take that letter and say that he'll pay them directly.
I essentially got a receipt that I already paid them, and he just needed to compensate me back.
Oh, okay. So he will then give you the 50 gold pieces that you paid out of pocket.
Cool.
You say, is that all, Gauntlet?
As of now, sir, I'm going to be staying not at the barracks for the time being, but in one of the detectives' offices, Vati's office specifically. If you do need us again, that's where you can find me.
Right, well, you can always go to Manip Salah. He'll be sure to give you your current orders.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're dismissed, Gauntlet, if there's nothing else.
That is all for now. Yeah, no, I think that's all for now, sir.
And
Oh, wait. Do you have any updated tokens for the entry into Baldur's Gate, or are they still the same?
They should still be the same, the ones that you currently have.
Okay,
It's
just
only
wanted-
been, even though we've had quite a few sessions in-game, it's only been 2 days, I believe.
only 2 days? All right.
Yeah, I believe it's only been 2 or 3 days since you originally came to the city.
Fair enough. I just wanted to make sure that anybody not in the
Yeah,
fist
you
had their
came, you
tokens.
stayed overnight outside of the city. Then the second night that you were going to stay out of the city, you came into the city, into Vati's place. Then you found the dungeon. So 3 nights. It's been 3 nights. So they are still good.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure that if my people needed to leave, they could get back in without
Yeah.
issue. Okay. That is all, sir. I will be seeing you later.
Right then.
And he motions towards the door, and you're able to leave the door. And you do see Manip Salal outside at his post when you leave.
Yeah, and then I'll just let him know what I told Flamesodge as far as that letter was concerned, and that the 3 were behind the assassination.
Right, and as you start to explain to him, he'll say,
Right, I would be a little bit quiet about what we talk about out here. If Flamesodge knows, that's all that matters.
That's fine. And I heard you were going to give me my new set of orders.
Right, I would say, for now, the usual, patrolling Lower Brampton over near Insight Park, if you would, with your team, with Honed. And, well, I suppose all you have is Honed right now. The other 2 that were in Craggle's charge didn't return, did they?
We lost them on the trip back from Elturel.
So for now, if you and Honed, if you can patrol near Insight Park, do a few hours down there, and then I'll be sure to refill your missing team members when we have the time. We're quite busy at the moment with everything happening with the Duke, of course, and Liara back in town.
Understood. I'll patrol till told otherwise.
and you know that, by the way, as he says that, he says Liara back in town. You recognize Liara as Liara Porter, who is a blaze in the Flaming Fist. And he quickly kind of catches himself and says, "Oh,
Right, you keep that information to yourself, Gauntlet."
Keep one information to myself, and I'll give him a wink.
right," and he'll say,
Exactly. Carry on.
Sir, and then I'll go back to Vati's.
all right. So you'll head on your way back to Vati's, and without going through all the particulars, you come across the same scene, Igvis, when you get back to Vati's place. The place in disarray, everything that I had described before. Mortlock and Dolakesh are sleeping in the 2 rooms in beds, resting up when you come, while the rest of the lower floor is all in the same state of disarray.
But a lock is now broken.
Right, the lock is broken.
Would it have at least been an hour so they would have gotten a quote-unquote short rest?
It would have been closer to 2 hours.
Cool. At that point, I'll wake them up. Be like, hey guys, up and at 'em.
Right.
So Mortlock will go ahead and regain some hit points, and so will Dolakesh.
Where is what happened here?
Well, not quite sure. Your friend wasn't sure either. She left, well, I guess to go somewhere. I'm not quite sure. She just told me I could go rest, and she's not here anymore. She seemed quite concerned about your other friend, though.
She didn't say where she was going at all?
No, she didn't say where she was going, so, I'm not sure that I can, point you in the right direction, but, I mean, in my case, now that I've had a good rest,
And he'll take his great club and kind of swing it over his shoulder.
he'll say am I good to go now? Do you have everything you need from me?
Well, there was the job you wished us to complete for you. I believe it was assassinating your brothers.
Yes, just to be clear, I could definitely get behind, taking out my brothers, but, it's not necessarily a task I'm giving to you, but I would, be fine with that.
So what I would like from you, then, is, before we let you go, just write down anything you think would be useful in carrying out this particular task, and then you're free as far as I'm concerned.
What? Do you have anything to write with?
I'll just check around Vati's office to see if I can find paper and ink for him.
Yeah, and you'll be able to find that in the scattered debris. And he will begin writing down information.
And I'll be over his shoulder, just giving him ideas, like if you have schedules, if you have planned events that they may be attending, basically anything you can give me.
All right, perfect. So he'll do that, and he'll start writing a whole bunch of information down for you, and then he'll hand it to you, which I will give you in a little bit.
Perfectly fine. And then at that point, I think I'll just get Dolakesh and be like, if they're not here, his next safe house is the Majestic, right?
Yes, I believe so, Dolakesh will say.
Alright, let's head over there then. We'll leave a note here for Hond and Alais when they return.
Okay. So you guys head over towards the Majestic. All right. Next, we're going to go to the High House of Wonders, which is in the Upper City. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and take our break, since we're good 2 hours in. And so we'll take a 10-15 minute break and then come back, and then we're going to see what's going on with Alais over at the High House of Wonders.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Sounds good.
So we'll take a break, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
So I am definitely cursed now.
All right. We are back from break. Back here with Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus Session 20. Okay, cool. So, coming back, let's see, when we left off, we were going to look and follow Alais and Hond, who were often headed to the High House of Wonder. So, Hont, you're aware that the High House of Wonders lies in the upper city. And Alais, you had heard that there was a small temple to Tamora in the High House of Wonders. So you know that you would have to get past the gates going from the lower city into the upper city in order to access the High House of Wonders. Normally, only patriarchs who live up there would have access through the main gates, through Baldur's Gate, which is this main gate right here in the center of the city. Otherwise, you would normally have to pay a 5 gold piece toll in order to get through.
Is it a one-way or a both-way toll?
Say again, Elias?
Is it one-way or two-way?
It's a 2-way gate.
No, do I have to pay leaving and coming back?
Yes, you have to pay every time you go through the gate.
Ooh. Elias only has 8 gold.
I can pay for us.
I'll pay for at least myself going in, and we'll figure out from there.
Yeah, so as you get to the gate, so that's just information that you know. As you get to the gate, you see that the gate seems to be closed. So normally, the gate would be open. There'd be multiple guards there collecting tolls. But the gate itself is shut and closed. And there seem to be members of the watch that are perusing along the walls. And you don't see anybody going in or out of the gate.
So I guess I try to get the attention of the members of the watch.
Okay. So what do you do to get their attention? You just yell up to them?
Yeah.
Okay. And they look down and say, "Right, you there! What do you want?"
Hello, I'm looking to find access to the House of Wonders, and perchance wanted to know if any of the gates were open.
Are you a patriarch?
No, good sir, I am not.
Well, the gates are closed. Try again tomorrow, given the events of last night.
Well, the problem is I'm quite cursed, and I'm not sure I'll have it tomorrow.
Well, no offense, but that's not my problem.
Could you at least tell me if there's another place I could, get this looked at? I'm not much familiar with the area.
Not familiar with the area. Where you from?
I'm actually from Alterel, good sir.
From Elturel? Oh, you're one of those refugees.
No, not at all, sir. I left Alterel many years ago. I'm but a wandering bard these days.
Yeah, they're all the same. Once an Elturian, always an Elturian.
Yeah, quite so, quite so.
Yeah, no, I don't think that I have any advice for you. I think that you're best just to come back tomorrow and hopefully, you don't rot or something.
Very well. Are there any other major churches outside of the inner city?
Well, you could always try the outer city. I mean, there is what is it called? Oh, Twin Songs. That's right. Twin Songs has all kinds of, temples and such to gods or whatever.
I'll holler up at the guy and say, "Will you let a fist through and with his companion?"
Say, what? You think the fist gets special treatment? Get a load of this guy
As he turns over to another guy on
the wall. What are you, some rookie or something? You should know that the fist has no jurisdiction in the upper city.
How about I give you guys 10 gold each for me and my companion here to come through?
And he kind of looks, they each kind of look to themselves real quick and roll me a persuasion check at advantage.
A 14.
So the one looks and says,
Right, you know, I kind of forgot about the gate is closed tax. There are probably, some rules that we can pull some strings for you if you're willing to pay the tax. 10 gold pieces, 20 gold pieces total. That sounds about right to me.
20 gold pieces sounds good to me.
Right. And he'll come down the steps, and he'll come to the gate, and you'll see him motion up to the one up top who seems to go inside the wall somewhere, and then you hear the gate go and open up as he holds out his hand.
Hey, I'll give him the little satchel of 20 gold pieces and drop it in his hand.
And he says, right then, be on your way quickly.
Thank you, good hound. When we get our payment, I'll be sure to pay you back.
Don't worry about it.
So you guys get in through the main gate, and the gate quickly closes behind you as the member of the watch goes back to his post. Getting into the upper city, it's definitely very different than what you see in the lower city, whereas the lower city has a lot of buildings that are quite crowded. The streets are much more dirty. In the upper city, you have much larger houses. And specifically, you come in to this very first district, which is the Temples district, which you would know, Honed, which basically stretches from the Basilisk Gate up here where I'm pinging, all the way kind of down south, and brushes up against the Manorborn district, which is this lower district down here. The Manorborn district specifically of the upper city is where the patriarchs live. Most of them have their houses down there, grand mansions. The Temples district, which is the areas where a lot of different temples lie, and as well as government buildings. High Hall resides right up here, which is kind of the main government building in Baldur's Gate. You would go there for petitions and the like, or to look up city records, etc., to file proper paperwork. It's also where up there, here where I'm pinging in High Hall, is where the court system is found. If you were ever arrested or put on trial, you would go to court up here and in High Hall as well. But down here, there's this little building that has kind of this crescent-shaped right side to it, and you know that is the High House of Wonders, which is a temple to Gond. And when Alais, initially mentions that he heard that there was a temple to Tamora in there, I mean, you recognize the High House of Wonder as a temple to Gond. You don't, as far as you know, there's no temple to Tamora in there, but, you're going anyway, along with
Yep.
So you guys head over, and as you get closer to the High House of Wonders, it's quite a large building. It's made of white marble, 2 floors, nearly 100 to 200 feet in length easily. There are 2 giant marble statues of what look to be men with these goggles on and tools, as they seem to be inspecting items that they have in their hands. And there are 2 incredibly large, nearly 20-foot high, big double iron doors right in the front, and grand steps that lead up to them.
So Elias is going to... I'm assuming he doesn't know the layout.
Right, you wouldn't know the layout.
So he's going to look for the first person he sees.
Okay, so there are definitely people on the street. So do you mean like you're going to go up and try to...
The first person who looks like a cleric of God.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like there's anybody outside that looks like a cleric of some sort, but there are definitely nobles and people in fine garb that are walking around outside.
So Elias is going to try to enter the temple, I guess, if that's allowed.
All right, so you go up to the big double doors, and you try to push on the big double doors to enter, and the doors don't seem to budge. And as you get up closer to the door, you can hear what sounds like the hammering of anvils and the cranking of large wheels that are coming from all around this building, you assume from inside.
So Alais knocks on the door.
All right. And there are these very large iron pieces that you can kind of lift up and bang against the door, and they reverberate in a large sound. And after a while, you hear some gears turning on the door. Click, 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 all the way from the top down the door, it seems. And then towards the bottom of the door, for you, maybe, waist or belly button height, a little sliding panel opens, and a younger gnome seems to be on the other side, and he's wearing spectacles, and he has a long handlebar mustache that is a bright green. And he says,
Hello.
Yes, what do you want?
Hello. I believe I've heard there's a Shrine of Tamora in here. I'm quite cursed and could use a cleric.
Yes, there is a Shrine of Tamora, but we're closed.
The problem is I'm quite cursed, and I don't know how much longer I have.
You're cursed, you say? What were you cursed by?
Oh, I found a spear. It was blood red.
A spear, you say?
Yes.
Can I see it?
I show him the spear. I take out the spear, and I subtly unwrap it a little bit so he can see what it looks like.
Yeah. Says, fascinating. There's quite the piece, it seems. Well...
Do you know what it is, perchance?
Well, it would probably take a little bit of investigation. I mean, would you allow me to investigate it and tinker with it a little bit?
Indeed, but be careful not to become cursed yourself.
Yes. I'm well versed in magics. Well, yes. Give me 1 moment, and you'll see the sliding door quickly close, and then you'll hear another set of gears and turning and whirring, and the 2 big doors then go as they open up in front of you. And opening up immediately, what you see is an incredibly large hall. There's an ornate rug that goes down the main hallway up to what looks like an altar, and then multiple pews on either side of that large rug. On either side of the hallway, there are multiple doors that seem to go off into different rooms. And he says, yes, quickly, come in, follow me, we're quite busy.
Indeed. Elias follows, and I guess home comes too, does he?
I'll be right behind you.
Yeah. And so you come, and he'll bring you off to the side to the right. There's a door that you can go through, which leads into a hallway, and then from that hallway it goes into another door across the way into what seems to be a small office. And he beckons you to sit down in a couple chairs and says, yes, let me see this spear now.
I put the spear on the table, unwrapping it for him.
And he, you put it onto the table, you unwrap it, and he turns around, and at another desk, it seems there are multiple trinkets and tools that he pulls out of that desk, measuring instruments that he uses to measure the width of the blade and the hilt, and he grabs on some additional spectacles that are a little bit thicker in nature and make his eyes pop out and look super huge and magnify his eyes as he's kind of wide-eyed looking at this spear. Fascinating. It's it definitely seems, and he seems to cast a spell, and his hands turn blue as he kind of moves them underneath the spear, which seems to glow in a red aura. And he says, yes, it is indeed magical in nature. Yes. It seems that this spear, can pack quite the punch. you attack in the right place and deal damage to an enemy, it seems like the barbs on the end of the spear will be able to get stuck within your enemy, and tendrils of energy will come out and rot flesh. It's quite interesting, actually.
Then do you have any idea what it would have done to me then?
Oh, well, I mean, if you were stabbed by it, I imagine the same thing. Your flesh would probably rot from your bones, and that would not be quite pleasant.
I merely grabbed the shaft.
Oh, yes. I don't believe that this would be the source of your curse.
I did grab it. I did find it on what may have appeared to be an abandoned altar of Bane.
To Bane, you say? One of the dark gods, the Dead Three?
Indeed. We were investigating a string of murders which we believed were connected to one of their cults.
Oh, well. Interesting. I'm not sure I'm quite interested in any of that, but, what would you, pay to have such a curse removed? A donation to the church, obviously, would be appreciated.
Well, on a separate note, that was, of course, to be a separate note, as it is. And then he's going to, DM, you recall we discussed last week how he filled that small box with silver, and he's going to put that on the table. For the poor of the city, of course.
I see, and, let's see, how much silver did you have in?
Alais filled it to the brim. I think you said it would have been like 230.
Okay. He says, yes, right, this will be a fine donation. I mean, you'll obviously have to pay for the service itself, but this donation to the church will definitely do.
Indeed. Oh, there's nothing magical about this mask. I found it in the same place, but my comrade assures me it's not magical.
Yeah, you'll see him again with his hands that glow blue kind of work its way over the mask, and he'll say, "Your comrade is correct. There is nothing magical about this mask."
So, do you have any? So, will I be able to know the curse that's on me?
Yes. Give me a moment, and you'll see him with his blue hands kind of go over your body, and as his hands are over your, surrounding the outside of your body, he says, "Oh yes, this is quite dark magic that you are that you seem to have on you. Let me think for a moment. So that would be, let's see, 11 green, there's a 9, so it would be about, let's say, 150 gold pieces, and to cast a removes curse spell on you."
I'm afraid I don't have that. I'll let you keep the spear.
And his eyebrows kind of perk up. Give me a persuasion check at advantage.
All right. $15.
And he'll say, "A spear. Yes, I would be happy to take that as compensation instead." And you'll see him wrap up the spear and put it behind him. He says, "Now let's take care of this nasty curse, shall we?"
Was it perchance, anyway?
He says, "Well, it seems that this curse would have is preventing you currently from taking on any sort of magical healing. it causes your wounds to fester, and any attempts at magical healing will automatically fail as your wounds continue to open up continuously. It's quite a nasty bugger.
Indeed. Indeed.
But no worries, Remus can take care of that, no problem. And he'll kind of roll up his sleeves and he will cast a spell, and then he will touch you. And when he touches you, you feel this wave of calm come over you, and you feel bright and brand new, and feel like you could do hurdles and run a race. And he says, "Yes, I think that should do it. It seems that magic is gone." And also, Elias, click that healing right there for me. That button in Foundry, as you also heal some hit points from his touch. So 8. So you also heal 8 hit points as you're feeling new and refreshed, and the curse seems to have been removed.
So, is there anything else? On a separate note, are there any injured here who could use some healing? I have a bit of knowledge of the clerical ways myself.
Oh, no, none other injured here. As I had mentioned to you before, we are quite closed. I mean, you are just a special case that we have allowed to enter, and in fact, I must insist that you leave now. We are quite busy working on new inventions, and quite frankly, I'm not supposed to have you in here.
Very well. Good day to you, sir.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. And he will lead you back out that same door and into the grand cathedral hallway, and you see him on the other end of that door. He kind of walks up some scaffolding that's on the side, and you see him touch the top of the door that's 20 feet up, and a large series of wheels and mechanics turn around the inside of the door that eventually open some levers that are anchoring it to the floor, and the doors open up, which allow you to exit.
And with that, Elias leaves.
Okay.
No longer cursed.
And Honed, you go with him?
Just before we actually leave that room, I wanted to ask the gnome guy if they do any purchasing of fancy, unique items.
Oh, purchasing of items. Well, what do you have on you?
And I'll pull out the red crystal vial with the gold stoppers and that orange fluid stuff in it, and hand it to him.
And he'll say, "Yes, this is quite interesting. We would definitely be willing to purchase this for the church, of course, and I can give you 20 gold pieces, let's say."
I don't think that's enough there. I need a little bit more. And by a little bit, I mean quite a bit more for that.
Well, I'm not sure it's worth that much more. I could go maybe 23 gold pieces.
How about we do 25 and it's yours?
And he thinks for a second. He says, "Fine, 25 it is. I'll give you 25 for it."
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. And so you can take it off of your character sheet, and he'll hand you 25 gold that you can put on your character sheet. Do you have any other interesting items of note?
Do you have a orb of shielding? If you're interested in that.
Ooh, an orb of shielding, you say? And how much would you be looking in order to part with this?
Let's say 10 gold.
And you see, give me an insight check. Okay.
6.
So, he says, 10 gold pieces. Yes, I can do 10 gold pieces.
All right, it's all yours.
All right.
And I'll hand him it.
Okay. And he will hand you 10 gold pieces.
That's all the bartering and stuff I wanted to do. I just came to see everything because it's fascinating because I haven't seen somebody be uncursed before.
All right. He says, well, if that is all, be on your way. And, of course, if you come across any other unique or interesting items, Remus is always available for trade or to barter. We could always use unique items here at the High House of Wonders.
All right, and I'll say, all right, well, if I come across anything fancy and these guards let me end up in this upper city without any hassle, I'll be sure to come back.
Right, thank you very much. I didn't catch your name, by the way.
I'm Hont.
Hond, it's nice to meet you, Hond. As I said, I'm Remus. And with that, he will usher you out the door that he has just opened.
Okay.
And then he closes it behind. And you can hear the whirring of the blades and the gears turning as the door seemingly locks.
It's quite a shame none of us use a spear. But we appear to be better for it.
Yeah, that is what it is. At least you're not cursed anymore. Let's make our way back to Vatis and meet up with everybody.
Indeed.
All right. So you go to head to Vatis?
Yeah, that's the plan. I imagine I gotta pay that closed gate tax again.
Yep. So as you get to the gate, the same guards are there, and they say, oh, right, so it looks like you're trying to get out, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Same tax as before?
That's right. The closed gate tax, of course. Is that what? And he kind of looks to his friend. That's what it was called, right? Yes. Yes, the closed gate tax. 20
And
gold
what was that?
pieces.
20 gold pieces?
Yes,
Are you sure?
20 gold. It's 20 gold. 20 gold pieces. Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, if you say so. And I'll pay. I'll pay the guy when he comes down.
All right, and he'll kind of scuttle down and put his hand out, and you'll pay him the gold, and then he'll open the gate for you once again, and you're able to leave the upper city.
Perfect. And then we'll make our way over to Vatis.
All right.
That gnome guy just made out with an incredible value.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's stolen property. I don't want to be caught with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure I could have gotten more, but none of us use a spear.
So you make your way out, and you head over to Vati's residence in the Steeps. When you get to Vati's house, as you're approaching Vati's house, you see Igvis and Dolakesh coming out of the house.
All right. Awesome. Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, Vati's office was turned over when I got here.
Like ransacked by somebody?
Hard to say. The lock was broken, but Dolakesh and Mortlock, and I'll just point to him. They were just inside sleeping, so I don't know if they were here when it happened. I don't know what happened.
Was there a note or anything?
No, I left a note for you guys to tell you we were going to go to the Majestic, but there was nothing from Vati.
Interesting. He's a different dude. That's for sure. He could be anywhere, really. He knows the city better than anybody.
I wonder what's going on.
Are we in the Majestic?
No, you're currently outside Vati's residence.
Friends, may I bring up a unpleasant note?
Go ahead.
Fair Vati seems much changed, and I am not per se sure we can call him Good Vati anymore.
You were calling him Good Vati?
Quite so good, Igvis, I once did. I have concern for our friend, to say the least. I'm not sure what sort of deal he struck, but he's a different man for it.
He most certainly is, but we have no reason to question him at the moment other than him not being involved in the last few encounters. I don't know. We can deal with that at another time. As of right now, the only other spot I think Mariana would be maybe at the Majestic with Kel, so we can go check there first.
Let's go find them then.
Yeah, let's get together and regroup and figure out what's going on.
Besides, we got paid, so I have some money to give you all.
I sold the spear to get my curse removed. It was perhaps a questionable decision.
I don't know who would use it.
Much my thought as well.
All right. So you head off to the Majestic. You get to the Majestic. I'll just put you here on the map. So you go ahead and you head off to the Majestic, and you're able to get there. No problem. You should be able to see the map now. And as you enter, you see Wilkes is still at the bar. You see an older gentleman playing piano. The same older gentleman that you saw the other day when you stopped by. And otherwise, you don't see any of your companions right away as soon as you enter.
Hello, fair Wilkes. Do you know where we could find Mariana or Cal or any of the others?
He says, "Well, it's good to see you again, Alais. And Hond and Igvis, and I can't quite remember your name. Oh, Dolikesh, that's it. Yes, well,
I don't think he'd have that
You would know it
name.
as Craggle.
Craggle. Right, okay. And you, Craggle, yes, it's good to see you all again. Yes, you said you're looking for who again? Your friends, Kel and Mariana?
And Vati, if he's here.
Yes, I haven't seen Vati. Your friend Mariana told me about what has happened. It's quite disturbing, and I am, wishing him well. I hope that no harm has befallen him, but, if I do hear anything, I have promised to let Mariana know. As for your friends, they are currently staying in a room number 5 on the 2nd level. If you go past the gates over there on the back of the stage, you'll find a set of stairs that lead up, and it's the 2nd room on your right.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a round with us.
Absolutely. And would you like some Dragon Crush or a Baldur's Mouth?
You guys get what you want. I'll pay for it. I don't drink.
The answer to your question, my good sir, is yes.
So he'll come out with a Dragon Crush for you, Hones, and a Baldur's Mouth. He'll give you both.
Perfect.
And,
Thank you.
Delicate should probably also have a dragon's... maybe one of each. At least a dragon's breath.
Yeah, he'll take a Dragon Crush. It's called Dragon Crush. He'll take a Dragon...
I'm mixing the names, don't mind me.
Well, I mixed them up when I originally said it. It's Dragon Crush. So he gives Dolikesh a Dragon Crush. And how about you, Elias?
I shall pass for now. I wish to find the others and keep my wits about me till then.
All right, and so that would be a total of 1 gold piece and 5 copper pieces.
So I'll hand him a gold and 5 silver.
He says, "Thank you very much, good sir." All right.
I want to. My good sir, do you have a jar or a container that would be? Oh, I don't know. Would you say it holds a head about that size?
And he kind of
And-
like in shock. Did you say a head?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just like that size, like a size of a head. I don't have a head to put in a jar. I'm just looking for something about that size. I want to do some canning.
Huh. Well, I'm not sure I have a... Well, actually, I might. I might have a large pickle jar that I guess would be kind of the size of a head. And
Yes, I think that would work. And do you have any like straight alcohol?
straight alcohol.
Yes.
No,
The strongest stuff you got.
I can't say besides the beer and the wine. That is pretty much all I sell here.
Do you know where I could get like harder alcohol?
Well, if you want some vermouth, I'm sure that you could find somewhere in the upper city that might sell such stuff, but, for us lower city denizens, it's just a little bit out of our price range. There's not,
Oh, okay.
not
I
a lot
get
of
it.
money to be made down here in the lower city stocking those wares.
All right. Well, it's not a problem. I'll take that jar though. However much you want for it, I'll buy it from you.
How about we say 5 silver pieces?
5 silver pieces, you betcha. Oh no, I'll give him the 5 silver pieces.
All right. You give him the 5 silver pieces, and he'll go into a back room here in the back, and then he'll come out with a very large jar that he uses 2 hands to bring out and set on the table. And he says, "Here you are."
Is it full or empty?
It's empty.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then I'll pick it up and throw it in my backpack, or actually, I'll just hold it and take it up to the room and deal with what I'm going to do next.
Okay. So you do that. Everybody else head up to the room too at this point. Or I should say, is there anybody who doesn't head up to the room?
Nah, well, we'll head up.
Okay. So I'm just going to put you in this back room for now. There are stairs that go up that aren't on this map right now. I don't have the second level here laid out on the map, but you can use this room for now as a proxy. So you guys head up, and you get up to the room, and you would knock on the door, I assume, and either Mariana or Kel would answer. And then you'd be able to go inside, and what do you do? What do you say?
Yeah, I'm definitely sitting there counting my money and everything.
How much was in the chest there, Kel?
Good question. DM, you said there is a ton of money in there. How much do you think? Besides the gems.
Okay. This is... Let me just remember which chest you grabbed.
Specifically, you said this was a chest filled with silver and then with some copper pieces thrown in, if that helps.
Yep. I thought this one had gems in it too.
I don't remember gems, but it's possible.
Okay, the one with the gold stoppers, honed open. There was the delicate porcelain dragon mask in one of them with a bunch of copper pieces and some silver pieces.
Yep, so I got the one with mask in it.
Okay, so you've had some time to kind of spend out and count, and There are 500 silver pieces in this chest, as well as 2,400 copper pieces.
Holy crap, I'm rich.
Nice little payday. On that note, and I'll reach into my bag and pull out 500 gold pieces and put it on the table and say, "This is the payment for the job."
I'll take my payment in not potentially cursed gold.
So of this 500, what does Vati owe your ship? You said 200?
200.
Okay, so I think I would just give you 200 and then split the other 300 between Honed, Dolakesh, and Alais. And Kel, you can just keep the money that you collected.
Okay. How many silver pieces again, DM?
500 silver pieces.
I'll give you another 20 gold off of mine to kind of even at least me and you out a little bit.
Yeah, because that would bring you to 50 gold from the silver and then 24 from the copper, I think.
Oh, so he's actually closer than I thought.
So we get a total. So I add a total of 20 gold.
Every person adds 100.
Okay, everyone adds 100.
Except for Mariana, who adds 200 because she has to go pay her ship. Oh, and here's the flail back, and I'll give you back the skull-headed flail as well.
Sick.
You can consider that the rest of your personal payment.
Will do. By the way, Vati, not sure what's happening there. When we got to his office, agency, whatever, house, it was locked. We kind of just broke it open, and the whole
Wait,
place
you guys
was
broke the door?
ransacked. Yeah, I'm not... yes. Mortlock did that.
It was ransacked before you got there, though?
Yeah, everything was torn apart, but the door was locked, which suggests that somebody with a key did this. So, Vati was super weird. I don't know if he was just skipping out on payment. Seems like a little more than that to me.
Well, he knew we were getting paid, so I can't imagine he would leave without... Like, for that reason, if anything.
I am quite worried about Fairvati, to be honest.
On that note, Honed, me and you are to return our patrols of Lower Brampton.
Like
at least-
tomorrow?
I
We
want to
should
say
absolutely
no.
take long rests.
Tomorrow?
I want to say no, but I'll do it. I'll do the watch tomorrow. It's fine.
Okay, we'll do the watch tomorrow, and maybe we'll not have any bodies pop up.
Right. We don't have to begin now. We can wait till tomorrow.
Okay. I need a sleepy.
I also need to sleep. So while we continue our watch, I don't know. Anybody have a clue as to where Vati even went off to?
I just know that I need to go back to my ship at some point.
Yeah, I know we need to pay them, Vati and his deals. Oh, I'll also take out the piece of paper from Mortlock and put it on the table saying, Mortlock's now free, but in case we wanted to do this whole nonsense, here's the information we have about his family.
And
we'll get that eventually.
Yeah, and I'll just tell you right now as you share that information. So basically what Mortlock wrote down, and Mortlock at this point has departed the group. He wrote down that he has, so you know that he has two brothers. So he's Mortlock Vanthampur. His mother is Duke Thalamra Vanthampur, and she has a manor in the upper city. The manor is where he and his two brothers also live with his mother. His one brother, Amric, currently does business out of a facility called the Low Lantern, which is a ship docked in the Brampton-ish area of Baldur's Gate. It is a ship that has been converted into a bar, and he currently runs a money lending business out of the ship, but really the money lending business is a guise for his true business, which is to dupe Elturians and refugees into Baldur's Gate. So he gives people false hope that they can enter Baldur's Gate. He arranges through various contacts the ability for passageway once he figures out who is and is not related to Elturian knights. And then he captures them and sends them off in order to be murdered by Mortlock's group that Mortlock was leading. So he arranges for them to come into Baldur's Gate under a false premise of safety, then captures them and ships them off to the dungeon beneath the bathhouse in order for Mortlock to take care of them. He tells you that Amric also has a pet fiend that he keeps as protection, a little flying creature. He doesn't know what exactly the creature is, but he just knows it's a devil of some sort that he keeps as protection, along with a few bodyguards that are at the Low Lantern with him as well. He says his older brother, Thirstwell, who's the oldest of the bunch, never leaves Vanthemper Manor. But that his older brother also has a network of imp spies, little tiny devilish creatures that are able to turn invisible, and he sends them all throughout the city in order to spy on the family's enemies and keep tabs and whereabouts on his brothers. So he says that is something that you should be aware of, that whatever you do and wherever you go, you are probably being watched by his older brother. He says that Vanthemper Manor itself is heavily guarded by 20 plus personal guards that the family has. He says that there is a basement to their manor, that he and his brothers and nobody is allowed into the basement except for his mother. But he does know that there is a cult leader that escaped El Terrell that his mother is working with in order to do different sorts of dark dealings that he is not read in on beneath the manor. He also tells you that the family normally meets once a week for dinner at the manor, and that they had a meeting set for 3 days from now, where they all meet at the manor and they dine together and they talk business. And that is the gist of the information that he wrote down for you.
So his family, not great people. There's no promise of a reward for doing this, other than maybe protecting some refugees, but it's an option if you guys are interested.
The risk and reward, it's not worth it. There is no reward. Too great of risk.
Real quick, Dan, what time would you say it is right now?
It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. Before, what time would you say the blacksmith or the market would close? Typically, the armor.
Yeah, you'd be able to find a place if you were looking to buy or sell armor.
So I'm looking for a sword. I want to go look for a very particular sword that I heard about in El Toro.
If you're going shopping, Kel, I'll go with you.
Get healing potions.
Yeah, I'm going to go on a little shopping spree. So,
All right. What particular sword are you looking for?
If you guys want health potions, you're all chipping in for them.
So, I mean, one thing you'll know is that if you're looking for magic weapons, magic armor, magic weapons, they are magic weapons in general, and magic items are not readily for sale in the city or really anywhere. They're incredibly rare to have magic items, and usually people who have them don't sell them, or they keep knowledge of having them on the down low, because it just creates more attention for thieves or potential crime to happen for people to try and steal those items, which have incredible value. So there wouldn't be any particular magic item shops. You could definitely find like a blacksmith or a shop that sells weapons and armor, but there isn't a particular place that you would know of that sells magic items specifically.
So I want to either have the blacksmith create me a specific weapon using my divine magic and my chromatic ancestry, or I would be looking for a specific great sword that I heard about called the Flame Tongue Great Sword. It's specific to fire dragons.
Yeah, you would. I mean, you've heard of a flame tongue before. They're incredibly rare. And I mean, asking around, like, just to kind of skip some of the role play surrounding it, you would go to a couple different shops and you would ask around about this type of item, and or if anybody has the capability of creating such an item. And you just don't have any luck going to shops or asking if there's anybody who can create one for you.
Okay. Would I by any chance be able to, while I was at the blacksmith, would I be able to persuade him to give me information on a dwarf blacksmith that might be able to craft such a sword or a similar sword?
Well, that's kind of part of what I'm saying, though, is, you know, you go to a shop or a blacksmith and they'd probably send you somewhere else that, you know, you might have better luck. And as you kind of go around throughout the day, visiting various shops and various people, you get the feeling that, you know, that you can't find a flame tongue, and that you're not sure if there's anybody, at least not in the lower city, for sure, that would be able to craft you such an item, such a magic weapon, because you get the sense that such a weapon is incredibly rare to find or to make, and it's just beyond the skills of any of the blacksmiths or shopkeepers that you talk to.
So the last place I want to go to is just a general store to buy potions or items.
Yeah, so you'd be able to find such a store. What specifically are you looking for?
So I definitely want to get some healing potions.
Yeah, so you go to Jenny's Place. That's the name of the store, and it's here in the Steeps. And there's this little old lady, and she seems to be missing a couple of teeth. And she says, "Yes, how can I help you here? Jenny has everything that you're looking for."
Well, ma'am, I'm looking for. Me and my compatriots are looking for some healing potions and items that may help us on our ventures.
Ooh, healing potions, you say? Why, of course, I have quite a few of those that I would be willing to part with. For the right price, of course.
Thank you.
How much do you have them for?
Well, I would be willing to part with these potions for 60 gold pieces each.
Ha ha ha. I'm going.
Question for you, ma'am. If I buy them in bulk, would I be able to get a discount? Say 6? Maybe 50 gold a piece?
Buy them in bulk, you say? How many would you be looking to buy?
I'm looking for about 6.
I would be willing at that price to give them to you for... Roll me a persuasion.
God, I suck at persuasion. Cal, are you assisting? Just kidding.
I could assist with intimidation.
Let's not do that. I got a 2.
That was a performance, but I imagine your persuasion
It's the
is the
same.
same. Okay. Yeah. She says, in bulk, I'd be willing to release them for 57 gold pieces each.
55. And I'll take 6 right now.
How about 56?
Okay, 56 is fine. Oh,
All yours, 56 gold pieces for 6 potions each.
okay.
So that's 336 gold pieces.
So everybody who wanted one, go ahead and take your amount off and add your potions.
Can Jenny do anything else for you? She's got quite a few other remedies and liquids for sale.
Do you have any specialty items?
Ooh, specialty items. Well, there is this new herb that I've been trying out. It's quite wonderful. It makes your skin a little bit more limber and flexible when you imbibe it. And she'll pull out from one of the shelves this larger vat of this bubbling green liquid in a vial. She says, "You look like you could be a little bit more limber. For this concoction, for the mere price of, let's say, 100 gold pieces, I would be willing to part with this."
Yeah, no thanks. I would do 50 gold pieces, and I'm going to kind of puff out my chest and kind of stand as tall as I can.
Okay. So what are you trying to do then, or what kind of skill are you trying to use? Are you trying to intimidate her?
Yeah, using a little bit of intimidation, yeah, I would say I am.
Okay, give me an intimidation at disadvantage. Says, you know what? On On second thought, I don't think I'm willing to part with this concoction. And she'll take it and she'll put it back on her shelf.
Oh,
Very well.
I do have one other small question. Can you tell me what this is? And I'll take out one of the potions that Hone gave me, the small vial with the gold stopper on it, because I still had one. And just ask her, can you tell me what this actually is for?
Says, oh, this is quite an interesting concoction. Yes, yes. And she'll say, for the price of 2 gold pieces, I would be willing to release that sort of information for you.
Woman, you are very expensive. You know that?
Oh, you have to pay for knowledge, my friend.
I'll just hand her the 2.
Knowledge can be sought elsewhere as well.
Not like you can seek it at Jenny's. And she'll take that those gold pieces and she'll shove them in her pocket and she'll say, well, this potion is quite interesting. If you imbibe it, a fire will appear in your guts and in your stomach, and when you exhale, a giant cone of fire will come out of your mouth. It is quite exhilarating.
Oh, so it gives me fire breathing as if I were a dragon.
Oh, absolutely. And it is a potion of fire breath for the sake of your character sheet and mechanically.
Cool. I'm just trying to fix my item box, don't mind me. I'll also put down the black steel dagger and just see if that's expensive at all or anything more special than a regular dagger.
And she'll look at that and she'll say, ooh, this is quite a fascinating blade. I mean, way beyond my expertise here. I deal more in liquids and bottled goods, but it is quite fine detail. Where did you ever get this?
Hard to say. I just came across it during our adventures, as my companion was saying.
Would you be looking to part with it?
Not at the moment, but if I am, I'll make sure to keep you in mind.
Yes, absolutely. Keep Jenny in mind.
I would probably ask a blacksmith to confirm what it is, because I also want to go get a weapon.
Yeah, so you would be able to talk to a blacksmith and, kind of moving past the roleplay a little bit. You do know that it is made of black steel. It makes it a little bit more rare. It probably is worth more gold pieces, but effectively and mechanically, it would function just like a normal dagger. The main effect of it is that blood kind of clings to the blade and it makes no sound, which, makes it easy to use in stealth situations.
So more like an assassin's weapon
Right.
than a regular dagger would be.
Right.
Okay. And the last thing I'm going to pick up while we're just out and about is I'm going to pick up a quarterstaff, but specifically a 3-segment staff. So it's essentially giant nunchucks with an extra staff, wooden piece in the middle.
Yeah, you'd be able to find something like that for 2 silver pieces.
Cool. So now I have that on my back, kind of like nunchucks across my belt.
Awesome.
All right, I am all set. Are you good there, Kel?
Yeah, last thing I would want to do is just ask the bladesmith to enhance or hone Knight's End.
You want a sharpening?
Essentially trying to make it a little bit more powerful, if I can.
Yeah, so the only way you'd be able to do that is essentially you would have to find a high-level arcanist that would be able to enchant this weapon with greater magic. So the blacksmith, would tell you that it's quite a fine blade already, quite a rare blade inlaid with magic. But the only way that you would probably be able to make it more powerful is to find a magic user that would be able to enchant it. And in his experience, he's encountered very few people in his lifetime that have that type of magic just readily available to them, let alone somebody who would just charge a random person or to do such a thing. But even if you did find somebody, it would probably take months of work probably to be able to enhance this blade further.
Well, thank you, dear sir. I'm good. Igvis, if you want to go, let's go back to the Majestic.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm in need of sleep
anyway.
Okay, you head back to the Majestic, where everybody else is also.
I'm going to, of the potions I picked up, I'm going to give one to Mariana because she asked for one. I'm going to give 2 to Hone because he asked for 2. And I'm going to give 1 to Kel and 1 to Alais.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure if our healers go down, they have something on them to heal.
Yeah, you do that. So you guys can add a potion of healing to your inventory.
And then I need to go to my ship.
Okay. You are able to head to your ship.
And I do want to tell Wilkes on the way out that the others are back there. Just pass on any information he'd have given to me to them.
And he will agree to do so. So you head over down to the Uncivil Serpent, which is docked relatively close to the Majestic and Vati's office near the steeps. And yeah, you're able to find the ship. There's a crew of 20 on the ship currently. And I'm just going to change this. Just so we can stay on this map. So there's a crew of 20 on the ship currently. And you also are able to find Deadeye on there. So the Uncivil Serpent is down here at this dock right there versus Vati's office, which is right up here in the Majestic. So coming down onto the Uncivil Serpent, you find Captain Deadeye on the ship. He's in the back of the ship in his private quarters.
So I do not intend to go address him.
Okay.
I go up onto the ship and kind of gather everybody.
All right. So you gather everybody that you can see on the top. On the top of the ship, there's definitely crewmates all over the ship, right? Because the ship is multiple levels. So on the top of the ship, you can find probably 8 people that are working on top of the ship that you could gather, unless you were to go down below deck.
I'm gonna tell somebody, hey, get the crew together. I've got some news about our employer.
And
Right then. Hey, good news. Have you told Cap yet?
No, I think I'll share this myself.
Ooh, juicy.
And
So where are we meeting?
On deck up here's fine.
And he'll head around and he'll start whistling to start gathering up parts of the crew, and he'll go down below deck and gather. And next thing you know, you have a good sizable crowd up on top of the deck surrounding you.
All right, everyone. So our employer, graciously found for us by Captain Deadeye, who came back severely wounded, down several members of the crew, has walked out on us. I, however, through much work and combat, have gotten us paid anyway.
They walked out on us? Is Deadeye responsible for that?
Well, he wasn't the one out on the street doing the work like we were.
Well, you know,
And
it
as
seems
far
he
as
has
I
been
know-
slacking a little bit.
He wasn't keeping an eye on our employer at all. I, however, kept a very close watch. And I managed to get in with his group, finish the work he was supposed to be doing, and now I have this. And I'll toss up the little sack in my hand of gold.
And how much gold do you toss?
I'll have the whole 200 pieces. The rest that is specifically mine because I'm the one who fought in the horrible dungeon.
All right. So you toss 200 gold pieces for the crew. For the right. Right. Is this?
I'm not throwing them at them. I've just got the sack in my hand, kind of like
okay,
in my palm, you know.
So they say, right then, I guess we'll take our payment. How much do you got there?
The full 200 promised.
Ha ha! Way to go, Mariana! Ha ha! You hear that, boys? We're getting paid. It's payday. And you hear some hooping and hollering as people are clamoring closer to you in order to get their hands on some of the gold that you're offering.
And she's gonna kind of like, hey, line up. Everybody's getting their share. And kind of take authority.
And they'll be like, oh, line up. And so they kind of grumble a little bit when you ask them to like line up and get into a line. But they do so. And they get into a line as one by one they come up to you looking to get paid.
And I'll divide it evenly among the crew.
So 10 gold pieces each.
Yeah.
So you hand out the 200 gold to the crew, and they seem like incredibly happy about that. So what now? What do we have to do now? I mean, we've been paid and everything, right? So we don't have to stay in port, I imagine.
From what I hear, there's a bit more work to be had here if we were interested in squeezing a bit more out of the Flaming Fists. They're the ones who footed this bill. Not knowingly, of course. But they've got a few other things going on if we wanted to stick around here.
All right, out with it then. What's going on? What's the payday like?
Well, if we got 200 just for this job, and this job alone, well, I imagine there's similar amounts to be had for, say, investigating the murder of one of the dukes of Baldur's Gate.
The Duke, yes, I heard about that the Duke was murdered.
Now imagine if, say, a crew member of the Uncivil Serpent were to figure out who did that. I imagine they'd be awfully grateful.
And you see a bunch of people, they're all kind of staring at you right now with kind of like glassy eyes. It's almost like it's kind of going over their head for a second. And
Take money, everyone!
Money! We like money!
Dukes are rich as hell!
Dukes are
That's
rich!
probably got a family!
We're gonna murder them! Take the gold!
We're going to trick them into paying us.
Trick them?
We don't even have to fight them.
They're just gonna give it to us freely.
We just get to sit here and drink in the harbor.
That's what we get paid for drinking, boys! Get out the ale! And you'll see like a couple will wander off to go break out some kegs as they start drinking. If this is all we have to do, this is great!
Just maybe a little more information gathering. You know, when you're feeling like it. Pick some things up in a few of the taverns. A little pub crawl.
Right, so what exactly do we have to find out?
We want any information on the Cult of the Dead 3, or the Cult of the Dragon, and any information about the murder of the Duke whose name I don't remember.
Duke Porter.
And then I'll also throw in information on Mortlock's family.
Okay. The Vantham purse.
Yeah.
Why didn't... So, when do we have to have information by, and when do we get paid? As they're kind of like scratching their heads.
Try to get your information in 2 days. We'll put it at a week maximum for payday. We don't get paid by these people by then? Well, then maybe we have a little fun.
Yeah, I like the way you think, Mariana. So who's gonna tell the cap?
Yeah, I'll go talk to him. I imagine he's kind of been standing around hearing what's going on, having heard the crew assemble.
Yeah, at this point you don't see Deadeye up on deck at the moment.
Alright. Well, I'll head down there, then.
Okay. So you head towards the back of the ship. So you go down one level to the back of the ship is where Deadeye's quarters are, and you would knock on the door, which is locked, and he'll come to the door and he'll open it and he'll say, "Hi, Mariana, do you have any news for me?"
You really missed all of that? What have you been doing these past days?
Yes, well, I've been busy. So,
Busy.
out with it. What have you learned? How did Vati respond?
Paid, despite our employer, you know, the one you found by getting your ass kicked, walking out on us.
He walked out on you?
Now, I figure there's a lot going on here. Might be more work to be had. Men can kick back, find a little more information, and I'll go do a little more work. Now, I'm sure you have plenty to keep you busy. So you can just sit here and whittle your time away with the men.
And he kind of like looks for a second. He says, "Now, I'm sure you don't mean to take that tone with me, but don't forget that I am still the captain of this ship, and, well, without our friend in the picture here, and we can just set sail to sea. There are far better, more exotic places that we can go, treasure that we can loot. Why would we stay into a city and do more grunt work for meager pay?"
Do tell me, Captain, how many men have you gotten killed since we docked here?
I would watch your tongue if I were you. I could have you thrown off the poop deck.
Oh no, in the harbor?
Oh, it won't be in the harbor, sweetie. I'll take you out to sea. You know how these things go.
Well, I've gone in the water before, and I think I came out just fine.
You saw what happened to Captain Sesprin? If I can do that to Captain Sesprin, what you think I can't do it to you?
You know, it's funny you should bring that up. What happens when captains get lax?
Roll me an intimidation. And roll it at advantage. Says, "Yes, I hear what you're saying."
And, don't you worry about it. The men have already been paid.
And he kind of chuckles for a second. He says, "So what are you off to do now?"
A duke has been murdered. I don't know if you've heard while you've been busy. But I figure I might stick with this group. I got well over my fair share for helping them through a couple fights. So I figure I can get plenty more out of this.
He stops for a second. You see him kind of stare at you, as if he's deep in thought. And then he smiles and he says, I think that's a good idea for you to stick with this group. Go do your investigative work and report back what you find.
Oh, and so you're aware, I've already told the other members of the crew to go ahead and hit the town, pick up a little more information. So they're scattered off, so just so you're aware.
And you see him, his smile kind of fades a little bit. And he says, good to know.
Right, well, you enjoy your whatever the fuck you've been doing. I'm gonna head on out.
And he'll slam the door shut.
And I'll head on back to Majestic.
Okay. You head to the Majestic. Alright, so you head back to the Majestic. A couple of you have gone shopping. A couple of you are counting your coins. You've visited the ship and the crew. Had an interesting conversation. What are the rest of you planning to do? It's now sundown as you are back at the Majestic in your room.
I'm putting that elf's head into that pickle jar, and then I'm just going to pour.
Wait, you've been carrying that?
I've been sitting in the back room. Oh, the
Just
elf's head? Oh yeah, I've had the elf's head with me. Yeah. And I'm just going to pour the beers in there just to try to keep it preserved.
All right, so you pour the beers into the jar with the severed elf's head that you took from the necromancer's lair.
Yeah.
Question, was that just like in your backpack or like on your belt?
It was on my belt. So he had like nice long hair. It worked out really well.
Oh yeah,
And-
Kel's been wearing that severed head on his belt too.
I was gonna say, and the watch had no question. All right.
Yeah, we forgot about that was openly displayed on your belt. I would have probably... I mean, I guess I shouldn't assume. Would you have been wearing that openly throughout the city?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'd have it like under my jacket or something,
Okay,
but it's
okay.
still
No,
on
Kel
me.
too.
Well,
Not just you.
yeah, Kel, you had a severed head as well. Who was... What head did you sever?
The invisible guy
Oh, yeah, that's right.
in the dungeon, yeah.
That's right.
And probably would have been yeah. I don't think he would have been, his head would have been covered up at all.
All right. Well, that is good to know. And remember
Only men are
for
the
next
scariest.
time. You definitely had some turned heads, Cal, while you're out about the city, as this severed head is just bleeding all over the place, basically, because it wasn't that long ago that you killed that cultist. It's only been a couple hours. Okay. It is good to know.
And you were with a member of the Fist.
Yeah. Which is probably the only reason you didn't get stopped. Okay, so you're back. What are you guys doing? What's your plan?
I would like to inform everyone that you will now be investigating the murder of the Duke further, as I have enlisted my crew.
I was gonna look at you and be like, when did I agree to any of that?
Yeah, Alais is gonna just look at her confused.
Look, you've got an entire ship of pirates out ready to gather information. We're just looking for another payday.
I was happy to be done with Vati's contract once I gave you the 200 gold for it.
You're not in particular bound to this, but say I could get the Fists to foot another bill.
Do you want to talk to Flamezodge?
No, I think you're much better at those kinds of conversations.
So, what is it you're proposing?
Well, you're all very moral people with interest in the things that are happening. I imagine you're not just going to leave it at this.
I have a task for tomorrow. After that, we'll see.
Alright. We're all tired and injured. Have a couple drinks, get some rest, and we'll see.
Perhaps a trade of information. If your pirates could help me learn about something, perhaps I could help you learn about something.
Unless the thing you want to teach me is that you have money, I don't really care for information from you at this time.
Very well.
All right. So it is after sundown at this point. It's dark. You have a room at the Majestic. You have not seen Vati all day. Is your plan to go out and do anything tonight? Or would your plan be to rest up overnight?
I'm voting for rest
Rest.
and relaxation.
Yep, rest.
Yeah, rest.
Okay.
I'm probably going to, before I go to bed, that way I'm not covered in blood in the morning, I'm probably going to, breathe a little wisp of flame to cauterize my head's blood vessels. That way it's not bleeding no more.
Okay. You can do that. Okay. You guys go to sleep that night. Everybody roll me a perception check.
Oh, we should set up watches before we do that.
Sure, if you want to do watches. What?
Alais will be on first watch.
I can take second.
So Alais on first, Mariana on second. You'd probably need 3 watches at least through the night.
I'll take the third one.
Okay, Igvis takes the third one. Okay, let me, before you give me those perception checks. So, Igvis, your perception check is what? A 7?
Yeah, not great.
So, Elias, your watch goes without issue. Mariana, your watch goes without issue.
That's good.
Igvis, during your watch, while you are looking, there's a window in your room. And I imagine you'd be looking towards the door, the window. What would you be doing during your watch? Would you be doing anything in particular? Or just kind of looking out the window?
Probably looking out the window and maybe flipping a gold coin.
All right. So as you're sitting there flipping your gold coin and you're looking out the window, you feel a pinprick in your left leg from behind. And as you turn around, almost immediately, you get dizzy and woozy. And your vision starts to blur as you black out. You open your eyes after blacking out, and the room is kind of spinning. Almost like you're drunk, but you're unable to move. Your body is completely paralyzed. But you're able to see with your blurred vision Dolakesh's unconscious body is being carried by a few robed individuals. And You can't really make out their faces underneath the robe because of your blurred vision, but you do see what looks to be some sort of tentacle, almost, kind of fall out of one of the figure's hoods, and then quickly curl back up into the hood. And as your vision fades again, and you go unconscious again, you just see them carrying Dolakesh's limp body out of the doors to the room of the tavern.
Fun.
And then your paralysis wears off after about 15 minutes. And I think that is where we'll leave the session. Your paralysis has worn off. The rest of the group will be able to continue their rest through your third shift. This was towards the end of your third shift, right before dawn. So everybody will get the benefits of a long rest. And we'll see what you do in the morning next week. All right. With that, everybody say goodbye to the stream.
Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.